Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not in temptation, deliver us from the wicked one. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, deliver us from the wicked one. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth.
Indeed, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in Shamalim. All praises to the Most High Power, the power of Israel, the power of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. You are live and direct once again with the Akazaki Yahoo, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom wa baruch, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am joined once again this afternoon by my most esteemed Akinanaya. Shabbat shalom, Akin.
Shabbat shalom, Maki. Shabbat shalom, Yasharal. Call halal Yahweh. Bahashem, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Wahar, Wakak, Wadash. Kabod, Kabod, Kabod. That is glory, glory, glory.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Yes, indeed. All praises to the Most High Power, Yahweh, in the name of his wonderful Son, the Messiah, Yahweh Shai. And glory, glory, glory. Through the Ruach, the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High. Glory, glory, glory. So praise the Abba for another Sabbath Yom and another opportunity for us to get back into the book of First Maccabees. Got a little bit of a kick up yesterday when we were reading this book, and it got good. It got real good, and looking for hopefully some more good reading. I know it's going to be some turning points in this book. If you're familiar at all with it, you know it's some things get awry. So, but we're picking up in chapter number 6 and verse number 1 and First Maccabees. And once again, if you're using KingJamesOnline.org, you can follow along with us on the page. You can come right down here to the King James Online. Just click on KJV Apocrypha under KJV Bibles, and it's right there. That's going to take you to the KJV, to the Apocrypha books, and just select First Maccabees, and we are in chapter number 6. Verse 1 here. It says, about that time, King Antiochus traveled through the high country, heard saying that Elymas in the country of Persia was a city greatly renewed for riches, silver and gold. So what we left off yesterday, chapters 1 through 5, it began with the Greeks coming in and doing great evil against the children of Israel. So much so that the ire of the Most High was kindled, and he put the spirit on some brothers, and they began to fight with little to nothing, and destroy the Greeks with relative ease. In fact, not even losing a man up until they went off and did their own will instead of following what their leader had told them. So at this point, right where we are now, they basically won every battle that they fought, and so the Most High was with them, and you can see it in evidence there. So continue in verse 2. And there was in it a very rich temple, wherein were covered with coverings of gold, and the breastplates and the shields which Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian king, who reigned first among the Grecians, had left there. He got that from Israel. That's our stuff that he's talking about. Verse 3. Wherefore he came and sought to take the city and the spoil of it, to spoil it, Slaki. But he was not able, because they of the city, having had warned thereof. So yeah, they was told that he was coming, and they backed him up. Verse 4. Rose up against him in battle, so he fled and departed there with great heaviness, and returned to Babylon. That's ironic. Now this is the Antiochus, okay, because they did split it in realms. So he took that where Babylon was.
Right, Khan. So, Babylon was the most coveted location out of, like, even for the Greeks. Like, everybody wanted Babylon.
Wow.
And
it's ironic because that's really where the traditions that are followed in this country, that's where they come from, Babylon. All of these things that are kept year in and year out, that's where it started. They instituted some of their own stuff, like the Senate and where they had the representatives and whatnot. But yeah, most of the rest of it comes directly from that. So from Babylon. So verse 5. Moreover, there came one who brought him tidings unto Persia, that an army which went against the land of Judea were put to flight, and that Lysanias, who went forth first with a great power, was driven away of the Yahudim, and that they made strong, Salakia, and that they were made strong by armor and power and stores of spoil, which they had gotten from the armies of the armies, and they had that whom they had destroyed. So they were saying, oh yeah, they got ability because they had beat these other armies, and that's why they get all their stuff from. Nah, they were strong because the Most High was with them.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one giving them the ability to smash these heathen.
That's
With no,
right.
yeah. Verse 7. Also, they had pulled down the abomination which they had set up upon the altar in Jerusalem, and that they had compassed about the sanctuary with high walls, as before, and his city uh, Bethshur,
I'm looking for it out.
verse is the last word in verse 7.
Oh yeah,
Beth,
Beth Sewer.
okay, Sur, okay, Sur. So like you. Verse 8. Now, when the king heard these words, he was astonished and sore moved. Whereupon he laid him down upon his bed and fell sick of grief, because he had been befallen, Slaki, because it had not befallen him as he looked for. So he was so messed up by this whole thing. He just now he turned physically sick. I almost got physically sick by that video we watched earlier, and as it was so egregious, the things that went on in our before we were, before our generation. But he's doing this because he's losing what he had stolen, which is not a reason to get angry about something. Like, you stole it, you only gonna have it for a time.
Right, but
Not gonna
then,
have it forever.
and that's how the wicked think, though.
Right. Indeed. Indeed. Verse 9. And there he continued many days, for his grief was ever more and more, and made account that he should die. So this is the work of the Father of the Abba, stricken this man with all manner of demons, and they are just destroying him basically, and to a place where he just he ready to give up life because he couldn't beat Jerusalem. He couldn't beat the Yahudim in Jerusalem, so he ready to just lay it down, which is good. So verse 10. Wherefore he called for all his friends and said unto them, the sleep is gone from my eyes, and my heart failed for very care. And I thought with myself, unto what tribulation what tribulation am I come, and how great a flood of misery it is, or is it? Whereat, wherein now I am, for I was bountiful and beloved in my power. You like, I had it all, and now these Yahudim took it away from me. Verse 12. Like, don't blame us. Don't blame our ancestors. Blame the power of our ancestors.
That's right.
That's where it came from. Verse 12. But now I remember the evils that I did at Jerusalem, and that I took all the vessels of gold and silver that were therein, and sent to destroy the habitations of Judea without a cause. I perceive, therefore, that for this cause these troubles have come upon me, and behold, I perished through great grief in a strange land. And he called for Philip, one of his friends, and made him ruler over all his realm, and gave him a crown and his robe and his signet, to the end, and he should bring up his son Antiochus to nourish him up for the kingdom. So King Antiochus died there in 149 years. Now, when Lysias knew that the king was dead, he set up Antiochus his son, whom he had brought up being young, to reign in his stead, and his name was called uh, Ur Upar Upar Upater Upater.
You, yeah, you for Torah.
Oh, Fator.
Or no, because it's not an H in that, is it? And
Uh-uh.
I apologize. I like
No,
when we're on this apocrypha, like I have to blow it up to see it because it's
gotcha.
a little bit smaller print. But
Gotcha.
so there's no H in it, so it would just be Eupator.
Upator. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I keep. Verse 18. About this time that they were in the tower shut up, the Israelites round about the sanctuary and sought always their hurt and the strength of the heathen. And the strengthening of the heathen. Wherefore Yehudis proposed to destroy them, called all the people together to besiege them, so that so they came together and besieged them in 150th year, and he made mounts and shots among them, and other engines. Howbeit, certain of them were besieged. Howbeit, of them that were besieged, got forth, unto whom some of the unrighteous men of Israel joined themselves. Oh my goodness! So now we got some turncoats among the Yahudim. So the turncoats are trying to keep us in captivity. Verse 22. And they went unto the king and said, how long will it be ere that you execute judgment and avenge our brethren? What brethren are they talking about? What in the world? Verse 23. We have been willing to serve your father and to do as he would have us, and to obey his commandments. For which of those, for which cause they out of our nation besiege the tower and are aligned from us. Moreover, as many of us as they could uh, light on show. I'm messing this up. Let me read that again. Moreover, as many of us as they could light on they chew the spoils and spoil our inheritance. Neither have they stretched out their hand against us only, but also against their borders. And behold, this day are they besieged the tower at Jerusalem to take it, the sanctuary also, and Bethshur have they fortified. Wherefore, it's, if you do not prevent them quickly, they will do the greater things than these, neither shall they be able to rule them, or neither shall you be able to rule them. Verse 28. Now when the king heard this, he was angry and gathered together his friends and his captains of his army, and those that had charge of the horse. Then came there came also unto him from other kingdoms the isles of the sea, barns of higher soldiers, so that the number of his army was 100,000 footmen and 20,000 horsemen and 32 elephants exercised in battle. 32 elephants, man. Verse 31, which came through Idumea and pitched at Bersura, which they assaulted many days, making engines of war. But they of Bersura came out and burned them with fire and fought valiantly. Upon this, Yehudis removed from the tower and pitched at, I don't know what this is, Bath Zacharias?
Khan.
Okay. Look, I was...
House of Zacharias, or I forget what Zechariah means in Hebrew, but house of something.
Yeah, whatever that kind. We have to look that up. Over against the king's camp. Then the king rising very early, marched fierce with his host towards Bath Zacharias, where his armies made them ready to battle and sounded the trumpet. And to the end they might provoke the elephants to fight, they showed them the blood of the grapes and mulberries. Moreover, they divided the beasts among the armies, and for every elephant that appointed 1,000 men armed with coats of mail and with helmets and brass on their heads. And besides this, for every beast that were ordained, 500 horsemen of the best. So for every elephant, they got 1,000 men and 500 horsemen. Like, my goodness, they trying to win. Let's see what Abba gonna do with that. Verse 36. These were ready for every occasion, whatsoever the beast was, and whithersoever the beast went, they went also. Neither departed they from him. And upon the beast were a very strong tower of wood, which covered one of them, and were girded fast up unto him. These devices, with devices, there were also upon every one 32 strong men who fought upon them, besides the Indian that ruled him. So this is so they got these. I was thinking they got these from Egypt, from Israel, but apparently they got these from India. I think I did read that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, Khan.
That they came from India. Yeah, I do remember that now that I think about it. Okay, continuing, verse 38. As for the remnant of the horsemen, they set them on this side and on that side, at the two parts of the host, giving them signs what to do, and being harnessed over all the admits, the ranks. Against the admits, the ranks. Verse 39. Now, when the sun shone upon the shields, gold and brass, the mountains glittered wherewith, and skinned like lamps of fire, and shined like lamps of fire. So I imagine, your shields are made of gold and brass, and the sun starts shining. Yeah, it's gonna get pretty bright. They're gonna reflect off of that metal.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 40. So part of the king's army being spread upon the high mountain, and part of the valley below, and marched on safety, in that and in order. Wherefore, all that heard the noise of the multitude and the marching of the company and the rattling of the harness were moved, and the armies, Slaki, and the army was very great and mighty. Verse 42. Then Yehudis and his host drew near and entered into battle, and there was slain of the king's army 600 men. Eleazar also, surnamed
Sabaran.
Sovereign. Okay, Sovereign. Perceiving that one of the beasts, Slaki, perceiving that one of the beasts, armed with royal harness, was higher than all the rest, and supposed that the king was upon him, put himself in jeopardy that he might end his mighty deliver his Slaki. Put himself, let me start that again, verse 44. Put himself in jeopardy to the end that he might deliver his people and get him a perpetual name. I wonder why they think like that. Like, that's been the constant situation. Like, I'm gonna get me a name. Like, why not just do it for the power of your fathers?
And you're right. Like that
Yeah,
should be the focus. Like I'm doing this for the Abba as well as my people.
right.
I think you and I, we get into these scripts and we read about some of our patriarchs and some of our ancestors having a name because they slayed so many men.
Yeah,
So I think likewise, some of these brothers had heard about their ancestors and understanding that they had a great name because they
yeah,
were men of war and perhaps wanted to be like that.
yeah. I feel that. I think everybody want to be like Daweed. I think like
Uh-huh.
get his 10,000s. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get 100,000.
It comes.
So, verse 45. Wherefore he ran upon him courageously through the midst of the battle, slaying on the right hand and on the left, so that they were delivered from him on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Which done, he crept under the elephant and thrust him under and slew him, whereupon the elephant fell down upon him and he died. Dang.
Right.
Oh man, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad move. You can't gut an elephant from underneath it while you under there.
Uh-huh.
You gotta shoot an arrow at an elephant. Shoot at that lower part.
I was on a study, years ago, maybe 2019,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking about suicide,
Yeah,
and I think one of the sisters had asked, if people can still be saved if they commit suicide, and the teacher broke down a lot of information, and this story popped up then as well, because
mm,
like you just said, you can't slay an animal or a big beast like an elephant from
right,
beneath and
right,
think that you're gonna logically survive this beast
right,
falling on you.
right.
So they were saying that this brother had pretty much committed suicide, putting himself on the line for his people, is the way that it was brought apart. But yeah, I remember this story, hearing about it then.
Right. Yeah, and I wonder if he just didn't think that fully through. Like, I'm gonna thrust it, and like, did he know that that elephant was just gonna drop right there? You know what I'm saying? On top of him. So you got what, a elephant weigh what, about 3,000 pounds,
Man, yeah,
if not
ton.
more. Yeah,
Con.
yeah, if not more. So that falling right on top of you, you're not gonna survive that. Even on soft land.
Con.
So, he probably didn't just think that went through, which I don't think he sought to do that for the sake of killing himself. I think he's just trying to make things happen, which is good, but he just didn't think it all the way through.
Yeah, con.
Verse 47. Howbeit, the rest of the Yahudim, seeing the strength of the king and the violence of his force, turned away from them. And the king's army went up to Jerusalem and met them. And the king pitched his tent against Judea and against Mount Zion. But, Slacky, but with them were, Slacky, but with them that were in Beersheba, uh, he made peace, for they came, out of the city because they had no victuals there and endured the siege. Slacky. They had no victuals there to endure the siege, it being a year of rest to the land. So yeah, it was the year of rest. So it was the year of Jubilee, when you that seventh year, when you the Sabbath of the land. So they didn't have anything during that time frame to sustain themselves for during this situation. Verse 50. So the king took Beersheba and set garrisons there to keep it. As for the sanctuary, he besieged it. He besieged it many days, and set their art, artillery, and with engines and instruments to cast fire and stones, and pieces of cast darts and slings. Whereupon they had made engines against their engines, and held them battle a long season. So I wonder what they mean when they say these engines on here. Um, I don't know what kind of word that would be for.
It's there was a great thought put into different siege engines, or it's a vessel of war, something like a catapult,
Okay,
or yeah, something like along with those lines, or
gotcha.
bulwarks that might be on wheels that you roll into the enemy,
Okay,
stuff like that.
I don't remember. Okay, I got you.
Con.
I got you. That makes sense. 'Cause I was like engines. I saw we read that a few times, and I thought, what in the world are they talking about? An engine? Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Verse 53. Yet at the last, their visuals being without Slakia. Yet at the last, their vessels being without victuals, for that it was the seventh year, and they in Judea that were delivered from the Gentiles had eaten up the residue of the store. There were but a few left in the sanctuary, because the famine did not prevail against them, that they were fain to dis uh, disprove this this
Uh,
fain
Disperse.
to disperse. My goodness, I don't know how I'm looking at that like it's something different. Okay, fain to disperse till I keep themselves, every man to his own place. At that time, Lascaris heard say that Philip, who Antiochus the king, while he lived, had appointed to bring him up, it's like to bring up his son Antiochus, that he might be king, was returned out of Persia and Media, and the king's hosts also that were with him, and that he had and that he sought to take unto him the ruling of the affairs. Wherefore he went in all haste and said to the king and to the captains of the hosts and to the companies, we declare daily, and our victuals are but small, and the place we lay siege unto is strong, and the affairs of the kingdom lie upon us. Now, therefore, Let us be friends with these men and take peace with them and with all their nations, and covenant with them that they should live after their law, and they did as they did before. Oh, this sounds like a trick to me. Uh, for they were before displeased, and having done all these things, because we abolished their law. So the king and his princes were content. Wherefore he said sent unto them to make peace, and they accepted thereof. Yep, that's where you go off. Verse
Mm-hmm.
61. Never trust thine enemy. This was before Sirach. So that's why Sirach learned never trust thine enemy. As iron rusts, so is his wickedness.
That's right.
61. Yeah, that's exactly why he wrote that, because of this right here. Verse 61. Also, the king and the princes made an oath unto them, whereupon they went out of the stronghold, and the king entered unto Mount Zion. But when he saw the strength of the place, he broke his oath that he had made, and gave commandment to pull down the walls round about. Of course, afterward he departed. Afterward departed he in all haste, and returned to Antioch, where he found Philip to be master of the city. So he fought against him and took the city by force. Of course, so you can't never put yourself in that position, and that's why, because they're gonna show you evidence that they're not gonna do right. So as soon as you think you got an agreement, they're gonna turn their backs to it. You got to you got to put them down. You can't come to an agreement with them. The agreement is you got to die. You're gonna have to walk off that cliff, or I'm gonna put you to death with the sword. Those are your two options. Which one you want?
God.
But you got to go. You got to go. Because if you don't go, you're gonna do nothing but mischief. That's in you to do mischief. So you can only make deals with honorable men. You can't make a deal with a man with no honor. All right, continuing. The first book of Maccabees, chapter number 7, verse number 1. In 150th year, Demetrius, the son of
Seleucus.
Seleucus. Man, these names are terrible. Seleucus departed from Rome and came up with a few men unto the city of the seacoast and reigned there. And as he entered into the place of his ancestors, so it was that his force had taken Antiochus, the Lysanus, to bring them unto him. Wherefore, when he knew it, he said, "Let me not see their faces." So so his host slew them. Now, when Darius was set up on the throne of the kingdom, there came with him all the wicked and unrighteous men of Israel, having Alchemus, whom was uh, desirous to be a high priest for their captain. Alchemus, man, you know, it's ironic because I think about that name. I've heard that name before, and it was actually on one of somebody's album that I used to like, and he said it. I guess it was one of his one of his boys or something that he called it. What you laughing at, Alchemist? I'm like, I had never heard it before then, but now reading this and seeing it in here, and this is a wicked Yahudim.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy. Verse 6. Imagine being named after a wicked Israelite, or having that carrying that same name. Like, yeah, that's not the name you want. All right.
So the name is Alchemist.
Yeah, you see right here.
Yeah, this wouldn't have been a tradition of the Hebrew. You know, this would have been a Grecian, Latin type of name. And we know that many of our people took on, you know, these Greek names. You know, and perhaps, you know, I don't know. I don't know if you know, I'd much rather prefer to be named, you know, my Hebrew name. You know what I
Yes,
mean? These
indeed.
people weren't under that train of thought like around this time, man.
Yeah, because they was, they was the Greeks were the ones that had the power, and
Mm-hmm.
it's sad because I've been on with brothers, I've been on with the brothers, and one of the it's a brother that live in Israel, and he basically told us that we were gonna lose. He said, we've lost every time. So that's why I'm with them. He was over there with, like, he's considered himself one of them, a Jew. And his reasoning was because we always lost. With the Black Panthers lost, the all of these historically, we'd always lost.
Mm-hmm.
So he just feel like we're gonna lose, not knowing the scripture, because he's a rabbi according to them, but he don't know the scripture. Like, bro, that's your first mistake right there.
Wow.
Truthfully. All right, continuing. And it's sad because the brothers try to reach out to him and try to bring him up out of there. Like, man, come home. He's like, y'all gonna lose, man. Y'all always lost. He literally said that. Like, yeah, and he called himself Mordecai. Like, bro, you don't need that name.
Not at all.
Not that name. Oh, verse 6. And they accused the people of the king. It's like they accused the people to the king, saying, Yehudis is his brother, have slain all your friends and driven us out of our own land. Now, therefore, send some man whom you trust and let him go and see what havoc he have made among us and in the king's land, and let him punish them with all them that aid them. And the king chose Bacchus.
Bacal. Let's see. Oh, Bacchides.
Bacchus. Okay. Bacchus. I was close. I was close. Bacchus, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the flood, and was a great man in the kingdom, and faithful to the king. And he sent Slacky, and he sent with the wicked alchemists. The wicked alchemists. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what he said to me.
Yeah.
Whom he made high priest and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. How you gonna take vengeance on your own people, man? Come on. Verse 10. This is where things go awry. Is when we got people on our side that want to join to the heathen. That's when things get out of control. Because now you can't trust your own people. Verse 10. So now everybody looking at everybody like, can I not trust you? Can I not trust you? Now you got dissension. Now you got discord on them, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the Most High hate this thing. Hate it. Verse 10. So they departed and came with a great power unto the land of Judea and Slakia, where they sent messengers to Yehudis and his brethren with peaceable words, deceitfully. Come on, man. I hope to goodness Yehudis not falling for this, because they just did this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Verse 11. Look, I'm watching the movie. I'm talking to him. Now you be talking to the screen. You be like, nah, man, no.
Right.
I'm reading it and talking to it like in the same manner. Verse 11. But they gave no heed to their words, and they saw that they would come coming with great power. Oh, good. And there, it's like then did they assemble unto alchemists and back her. It looked like back hides. Back hides.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like. BACCHIDES, back hides. Or something like that. Okay, anyway. What'd you say? How you say you pronounce that?
You know, I said Bacchides,
Back
but it might be Bacchides.
hides. Okay. Yeah, because it's not a K, it's it's a CH. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Chides.
Cheetahs, yeah. Titus, back. I don't know. It's Greek. Who cares? a company of scribes to require justice. Now the Assadenes were the first among the children of Israel who besought peace with them. For said they, one of the priests of the seeds of Aharon is come with his army, and he will do us no harm, no wrong. Come on, man. Not the wicked alchemist. Verse 15. So he spake unto them peaceably and swore unto them, saying, we will procure the harm. We will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends. Whereupon they believed him, howbeit he took them 80 men. It's like, howbeit he took of them 80 men and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote. The flesh of the saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. Wherefore the fear and dread of them fell upon all the people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them, for they have broken the covenant and the oath that they made. After this, remove Bacchides from Jerusalem and pitched his tent in Berzeth, where he sent and many. Good grief! Let me read that again. Where he sent and took many of the men that were forsaking him, and certain of the people also. And when he had slain them, he cast them into a great pit. So this is our own people posing like they, down for the cause, like they a Levite priest, a son of Aharon, and saying, "I'm not gonna do nothing. We good."
Mm-hmm.
And then he come in and just wrongfully, like, dude, that's you don't know the Most High. He gonna do horrible things to you. Verse 20. Then committed he the country to alchemists, and left with him a power to aid him. And Bacchides went to the king, but alchemists contended for the high priesthood, and unto him restored all such as troubled the people, whom after they had gotten to the land of Judea, unto their power, did much hurt in Israel. Oh my goodness, here we go again. Verse 23. Now when Yehudis saw all the mischief that Alchemist and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, he went out unto the coast of Judea round about and took vengeance on them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country. So wait a minute, I didn't realize that Alchemist had been with Yehudis. Man, that's filthy. Verse 25. On the other side, when Alchemist saw Yehudis and his company had gotten the upper hand and knew that he was not able to obey their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could. And the king sent Nicanor. There's that name again.
Indeed,
Yeah. One of the most honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel. What you bear deadly hate to Israel for? What do we do to you?
Well, that's the thing, This is these Greeks, like I said yesterday, these Greeks were around during the days of the Persian kings, and even Haman.
Yeah.
Haman was a Greek. He was also an Edomite, but he was a Greek. So
okay.
again,
Makes sense then.
this Purim went down in all of the Persian provinces.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of provinces that were in Greek territories. So these people hated us for that and fear upon them because of that.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I kind of did think about that, what we talked about yesterday, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But Nicanor must gonna get the upper hand for a little while till he probably gonna come face to face with Yehudis. Yehudis. Well, let's read it. Let's continue. All right. Verse 27. Oh, yeah, verse 27. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force and sent unto Yehudis and his brethren deceitful with friends, saying, with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you, and I will come with few men that might see you in peace. Come on, man. Who gonna fall for that? I know Yehudis ain't going for that.
Right.
Verse 29. He came therefore to Yehudis, and they saluted one another peaceably. Howbeit, the enemies were prepared to take away Yehudis by violence. Which thing after it was known to Yehudis, to wit, that he came unto him with deceit, he was sore afraid of him, and would see his face no more. Nicanor also, when he saw that the counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Yehudis besides Cap Har Salama. Wow. I said hard. Cap has Har. No, that's hard.
And that would be I want to say Kafa Salama.
Kappa Salama.
Kafa Salama.
You know, it's ironic because Salama in Swahili is peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's ironic. That's why I was like, wow. All right. Verse 32. I wonder what that word means. I wish we could look that up. And I got to get that Apocrypha Concordance, because these words, I need to know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder is it in this Zonoman? Let me see right quick. 1 second. Let me look in the Zonoman Bible Dictionary. Let's see if it's in here. CAP. 1 second here. Kappa Solana. Solana. CAP. 1 moment. CAI. CAL. CAL. M. CAN. 1 moment. CAN. Is CAP. Cappadocia. Captain. Captivity. No, it's not in here. All right. Elsewhere. Continuing. Verse 32. Sad that it's not in there, but continuing. Where, verse 32, where they were slain of Nicanor's side, about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of Dawid. And this, after this, went Nicanor up to Mount Zion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably and show him the burnt sacrifices and who offered for the king. So I'm thinking Nicanor must have been a Yahudim. Because why are these people saluting him? And why did Yehudis even believe him? If he'd have been a Greek, a pale-faced Greek, I don't think Yehudis would have even thought that he would have been authentic. He had to have been a Yahudi.
I wonder, can you search that real quick, Wikipedia or some Google or something?
Yeah, I'm going to search his by name, but I'm thinking that had to have been what it was. Because why else would you?
And then there's also a holiday named after him.
Yeah, it's destruction. Nicanor. Oh, it says was a Syrian.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, it's calling them Assyrians.
And okay, so the people came out to greet him. These would have been people that were pro the Greeks, I found it strange when it says that he fled to the city of Dawid.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was thinking this got to be a Yahudim. That's what with all these things that we're seeing here, that we're reading here, it's like, wait a minute. And then he came out 33 upon Mount Zion and carried the sanctuary, and certain of the it says the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably and show him the burnt sacrifices that was offered for the king. Yeah, you're right, Art. So they're not doing the sacrifices to the Most High. They're doing it for the king. Good grief. All right.
And even around this time, I've looked up different historical information. Around this time, the priest's office was an office that was bought oftentimes.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was an appointed position like how it was before.
Right.
Even by hereditary, heritage.
Right.
These priests were put in position and power by money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you say that, and it's ironic, because I've been trying to figure out a way. I know we're not there yet, but I know we're gonna get to the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, and I got this strange feeling, like an itch behind my ear, that Nicodemus, one who came to the Messiah by night, I think he was Edom. And the reason I
Well,
say that,
wasn't he a Pharisee?
yeah, but you got to know that Herod was the king.
Uh-huh. And he was
So
Edomite.
yeah, so why wouldn't he appoint his own people in that position?
Good point.
So I can't substantiate that, and
Well,
I can't substantiate it. But that's just a
it
thing I
makes
thought, man.
yeah, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So uh I believe it's in Yehukanan chapter 10
Mm,
where the Messiah is talking to the people and he says that he's telling them that my sheep hear my voice, and he starts talking about our being the seed of Abraham and being
right.
in bondage, and they say we too are of the seed of Abraham, but have never been in
You ain't be
bondage to
able to
any
see
man.
any man. Right.
These are Edomites.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and they were Pharisees.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that they could have been Pharisees, but I
I
mean it
think so.
doesn't surprise.
I'm saying that without looking at it, but I've seen it before. But I'm thinking in my mind that he was the Pharisees that he was talking to, and they said that we had been in bondage. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm not trying to jump the gun, but yeah, reading this kind of made me go about that because I've got this strange feeling because the way Hamashiach talked to him, he didn't talk to him like he talked to the disciples or any of the other people. He talked to him like an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what made me like, I think this dude is Edomite for real. But continuing, verse 34. But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spoke proudly and swore with his wrath, saying, unless Yehudis and his hosts be now delivered into my hand, if ever I come again in safety, I will burn up this house. And with that, he went out with great rage. Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar of the temple, weeping and saying, O Yahuwah, didst choose, O Yahuwah, didst choose this house and called to be called by your name and to be the house of prayer and petition for your people. Be avenged of this man and his host, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies and suffer them not to continue any longer. See, that's how they prayed to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to cut them down, Abba. Take them down. Take them down. Don't let them get away with this evil that he's doing. Man, our people, I think our people's afraid to do that today. Even I think some of the brothers in the truth, I think a lot of the brothers in the truth thinking that this thing can't be what it is. But let's continue here. Verse 39. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tent in Beth Horon, where the host, where an host out of Syria met him. But Yehudis pitched in Ad Ades
Adasa.
Adasa. Okay, I always want to say Ad Asa. Adasa. All right. With 3,000 men. Oh, Yehudis got 3,000 men? That's pretty good. And there he prayed, saying, look, he doing the right thing. Going to the Abba.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Yahuwah, when they that were sent from the king of Assyria blasphemed, your angel went, or your Malach went out and smote 185,000 of them. Even so, destroy you this host before us this day, that the rest may know that that the rest may know that he has spoken blasphemies against your sanctuary, and judge him, and judge you him according to his wickedness. So the 13th day of the month, Adar, that's the right word, the host or the army battle joined battle. The armies joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in battle. That's why we celebrate this feast. So this is the 13th day of the month of Adar. So that's when we celebrate the destruction of Nicanor.
Okay, so a month of Adar, like what's the number? What number month is that?
I'm not 1,000 on that. Let's just Google it right quick and see if we can
Okay.
find it. I'm not 1,000 on that one. I'm not up on those months. I know Abib.
Right.
Everybody know Abib though. Let's see what Adar is. If we can find it. I'm sure we can find it. Let's say the month of Adar.
So like I'm thinking it's after dedication, but before Purim. But this is
So according to Wikipedia, Adar, Hebrew Standard Adar, is the 6th month of the civil year and the 20th month of the religious year of the
that's the
Hebrew
12th.
calendar. Oh, I said 12th. Oh, so like 12th, my bad. I don't know why I said 20th. 12th month of the religious year.
So it's in between. So this holiday is in between dedication and Purim.
Okay, current.
I think I might be wrong because Purim is like usually a couple of or maybe about 3 or 4 weeks before Pesach.
When is the celebration of the destruction
I want to say it was up on
of
Thunder calendar.
It was the only ones I ever seen mention it. Destruction. Because I didn't even know about it before that. Before seeing them having it up, I was like, "Oh, what is this? What is his name? I forgot the clown name.
Nicanor.
Nicanor. Yeah, he's so insignificant."
Uh-huh.
Let's see if we can find that. Oh goodness, look at this. It says the Yahudim cut off his head and proud right hand and hung him up beside Jerusalem for a little while. I guess we're gonna read this. Let's continue here.
Okay.
13th day of Adar, but that's when they killed him. The 13th day of Adar, or maybe I don't know if it get that graphic. But let's see. I don't know where they got that from. If they didn't get that graphic, first slain in battle. Verse 44. Now, when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled. And they pursued after them a day's journey from Adasa unto Gezer, sounding the alarm after them with their trumpets, wherewith they came forth out of the town of Judea round about and closed them in, and so that they turned back unto them and pursued them, were all slain with the sword, and not one of them left. Yeah, they threw down their weapons. It's a wrap for you, buddy. You gonna throw down your weapon and it's a wrap. You got to go. Not only you an enemy, but you got no heart. Check this out, verse 47. Afterward, they took spoils of the prey and smote off Nicanor's head and his right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away and hung them up towards Jerusalem. But this caused the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly the day, being the 13th day of Adar. Thus the land of Judea was in great rest. And wow. All praises to the Abba. Man, that is beautiful. That they was able to get this clown and take him all the way down. So much, you know, you a thorn in the side when they make a holiday after when they get you. That's a set apart. We're gonna make that I don't want to say a set apart day, but we're gonna make that a feast.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna remember that every year. So the 13th day of Adar. Let's figure out when that's gonna be. I know that's on their calendar, but yeah. I was wondering where it was at, but it was right here in Maccabees. All right, continuing chapter number 8 here. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter number 8 and verse number 1. Now, yeah, look, I'm a little hyped now. Now Yehudis had heard of the Romans, how they were mighty and valiant men, and such that would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of enmity with all that came unto them. And they were men of great valor, and it was told him also that their wars of noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute, and what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of silver and gold which were there, and that by their policy and practice they had conquered all places, though it was very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost parts of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. So it sounds like these Romans think they pretty hot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. Besides this, how they had discomfited the battle, Philip and Perseus,
Yeah,
king of
Perseus Khan.
Perseus. Okay, sorry, king of Shittim, with others that lifted up themselves against them, and had overcome them. How also Antiochus, the king of Asia. Oh, that's not Antiochus. That's Antiochus. Is that Antiochus?
Antiochus.
Okay, I thought that was, but I was thinking maybe I looked at that wrong. The great king of Asia had come against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots, and a great army was discomfited by them. Wow, he came with all that, and you couldn't handle them Romans? The Romans ain't that bad. Verse 7. And how they took him alive and converted. Covenanted, like made an agreement.
Con.
Okay, I'm like, man, I'm covenanted. I don't know. I couldn't get that word out for nothing. Okay, so Hakeem, that he and such as reign after him should pay a great tribute and give hostages, and that which he was agreed upon. And the country of India and Media and Lydia and the goodless,
Or unrighteous.
You're right. And the unrighteous countries.
Oh, no, that is goodliest. That's
The goodliest country.
yeah.
Slack, 1 second. Let me turn this light on. It might be getting too dark for me. You know I'm reading for this computer. The sun's starting to creep down.
Yeah, con.
Yeah. All right. And the goodliest countries which they took from him and were given and gave to King. Man, I can't get none of these. Eumenes, Eumenes.
Khan,
Okay, hold on. Moreover, how the Grecians were determined to come and destroy them. What? The Grecians and the y'all brothers.
yeah, but the Greeks and the Romans fought many wars.
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's crazy. I mean, these both Javon's children.
Well,
Like
I think
literally.
well, the Greeks come from Yavon, and the Romans come from Kittim. So Kittim and Yavon were brothers, and they're yeah, that's how it is.
Oh, did I have that wrong? I thought they were both from Javon.
Nah, they were from the Romans are from Kittim, that
Oh,
son. And
oh.
but you're right, they're brothers.
I had that wrong then. I thought they were both Yavana, whatever his descendants would be called from him. So from antiquity, so from post flood. Um, Continuing here, yeah, I knew about the that they fought for a while. I know they had some wars, but of course they end up combining. You had the Greco-Roman era,
Come.
and then of course it spawned into the Roman era. So it was kind of like going from Greece being at its height, combining with the Romans for a while, and then the Romans kind of kept kept that spot.
Yeah, and I want to say that they maybe perhaps both spoke Latin.
Oh, did they? So they stopped speaking Greek.
I want to say yeah, that's how it happened. But I know that they wrote the scripts in Greek first, then Latin. So maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean they probably did eventually go. I'm sure Latin became the lingua franca
Mm-hmm.
of the regions that they ruled. So because they had dominion for until they came into the Ottoman Turks.
Mm-hmm.
The Ottoman Turks was the one that took them down.
Yeah, come.
So yeah. All right. Verse 10. It's like First Maccabees chapter number 8, verse number 10. And that they having knowledge thereof set again them a certain captain to fight with them that slew many of them, and carried away captive their wives and children, and spoiled them, and took possessions of their land, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to be their servants unto this day. It was told him, besides how they destroyed and brought them under their dominion, all the other kingdoms of the isles that at that time were resisted them, but with their friends and such as replied upon them, or Slaki that relied upon them, they kept enmity, and that they had corrupted, or Slaki they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh, insomuch as all that heard of their name were afraid of them. I ain't afraid. Verse 13. Also, that whom they would help to a kingdom whose reign and whom again they displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted. Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown, nor was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. Moreover, how they made for them a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way for the people, to the end might be well ordered. So yeah, that's where we get the those situations from right here in this country. The House of Representatives, the Senate, all
Come.
of these things. This is Roman culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Verse 16. And that they commit their government to one man every year who ruled over all their countries, all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there were neither envy nor emulation among them. So they had a not a monarchy. They had a what's it called? What's this thing called? Where you elect the president?
Electoral. No, you're talking about a democracy.
Democracy. Yeah, that's what it is. A democracy. I don't smooth forgot it. Been out of school too
Or is
long.
it a republic?
Say again.
Or is it a republic?
Well, I mean, when you read this, it says in they had the Senate House. It said, and they committed their government unto one man every year, who ruled over all their countries,
Mm-hmm.
and that all were obedient to that one, and as long as he's not black, and that
Right. Right.
and that there were neither envy nor emulation among them. Like I said, as long as you got to put that caveat in there. So yeah, it sounds like a democracy there.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. I have to look up what a republic would be per se. You know, the democracy supposedly mean that everybody has a vote. I don't know if they voted. It didn't say that they voted, but I don't know. Verse 17. Yeah, it didn't say that they voted, so I don't know. It'd be kind of foolish to add that in there. So it may not be necessarily. It may be a republic. I don't know what a republic, what the definition of a republic is, but that's something I have to look up on my own. Uh, verse 17. In consideration of these things, Yehudis chose uh, Eupolos
Yeah. Epolemus.
Epolamus. Wow, I said Europe. Epolamus, the son of uh, John, the son of Akos, Akos, and Jason, the son of Eleazar, and sent them to Rome to make a league of amity and confederacy with them. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it sounds like they would be all right, but they're not. And you know, this tells you right there that they couldn't be Edom, because if they was Edom, he would know not to deal with them like that, because he know we have an ancient thing that went back with them from the womb of
Mm-hmm.
Isaac's wife Rebecca.
Good point.
Yeah. Verse 18. And to entreat them that they would take a yoke from them, for they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude. So they still got, man, I'm thinking we done defeated them. Verse 19. They went therefore to Rome, which was a great journey, and came unto the Senate, where they spake and said, Yehudis Maccabees and his brethren, and all the people of the Yahudim have sent us unto you, and to make a confederacy and peace with you, that they might uh, be resigned your slacky, and that we might be registered your confederates and friends. So that matter pleased the Romans well, and this is the copy of the uh, epistle. No,
Epistle.
oh, that is okay, right? I was like, what's that? No, that's not what that is. Okay, God. This is a copy of Tolaki. This is a copy of the epistle which the Senate wrote back again on tables of brass and sent to Jerusalem, that there were mighty, that they might be Slaki, that they might have them, that they might have by them a memorial of peace and confederacy. Good success be the Romans and to the people of the Yahudim by the sea and by the land forever. For the sword also of the enemy be far from them. The sword also of the enemy be far from them. Man, they bigging them up too much. Like, these. I know he probably heard that they was decent people, but no. Verse 24. You ever seen a Roman? not your friend.
Right.
Verse 24. I'm talking to Yehudis right here when I'm saying
Right.
that. Verse 24. If there come first any weapon upon the Romans or any of the Confederates throughout all their dominion, the people of the Yahudim shall help them, as the time shall be appointed with all their heart. Now, I can't remember Abba giving us any directive to join ourselves unto any people like that. Like that's way out of character for anybody. So I understand that the Greeks are still oppressing us and whatnot, and we'd love to get them out of there, but I don't think I don't know how they would come to this conclusion. Like, I will help you with your fights if you help us. Like, no. First of all, you got to be circumcised to deal with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Second of all, it doesn't matter if you were circumcised because you were. Let's continue. Verse 26. Neither shall they give anything upon them that make war upon them, or aid them with victuals, weapons, money, or ships, as it has seemed good unto the Romans. But they should keep their covenant without taking anything therefore. Verse 27. In the same manner also, if war comes first upon the nation of the Yahudim, the Romans shall help them with all of their heart, according as the time shall be appointed them. Neither shall the victuals be given to them that take part in them against them, or weapons, or money, or ships, as it seemed good to the Romans. But they shall keep their covenant and without deceit. They shall keep their covenant and that without deceit, according to the articles of the Romans, make a covenant with the people of the Yahudim. Howbeit, there it is, howbeit, hereafter, the one party or the other shall think to meet or add or diminish anything, they may do it at their pleasure, or whatsoever they shall add or take away shall be
Ratified.
ratified. Yeah. So they put a clause in there for that. Verse 31, a dirty clause. Yeah, kind. And as touching the evil that Demetrius doeth to the Yahudim, we have written unto him, saying, wherefore you make the yoke heavy upon our friends and confederates, the Yahudim. If therefore they comply with any more against you, I said that wrong. If therefore they comply any more against you, is that no? That's not comply. That's complain. My bad. My bad. I'm like, man. Therefore, if they complain any more against you, we will do them justice and fight with you by sea and by land. So they playing it. I know they playing us. They always play us. Nobody's gonna help us but the Abba.
That's
I
right.
don't know why we think we're going to go to some nation and some nation going to help us. Ain't going to happen. I don't understand that.
All right. All right. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 9, verse 1.
All right.
Furthermore, when Demetrius heard that Nicanor and his hosts were slain in battle, he sent Bacchides, an alchemist, into the land of Judea the second time, and with them the chief strength of his host, who went forth by the way that leadeth to Galgala, and pitched their tents before Masaloth, which is in Arbela. And after they had won it, they slew much people. Also, the first month of the 152nd year, they encamped before Jerusalem, from whence they removed and went to Berea with 20,000 footmen and 2,000 horsemen. Now, Yehudis had pitched his tents at Eleazar, and 3,000 chosen men with him, who, seeing the multitude of the other army, to he so great were sore afraid. That just doesn't even look like that's rightly written, man. Who, seeing the multitude of the other army, he to he so great were sore afraid. Whereupon many conveyed themselves out of the host, insomuch as abode of them no more but 800 men.
Wow.
So, he's lost more than half of his army.
Yeah, great amount. He had 3,000 earlier.
Yeah, so 2,200 left.
Yeah.
All right, verse 7. When Yehudis therefore saw his host slipped away, and that the battle pressed upon him, he was so troubled in mind and much distressed, for that he had no time to gather them together. Nevertheless, unto them that remained he said, let us qualm and go up against our enemies, if peradventure we may be able to fight with them. But they dehorted him, saying, we shall never be able. Let us now rather save our lives, and hereafter we will return with our brethren and fight against them, for we are but a few. Then Yehuda said, Most High forbid that I should do this thing and flee away from them. If our time be come, let us die manfully for our brethren, and let us not stain our honor. With that, the host of Bacchides removed out of their tents and stood over against them, their horsemen being divided into two troops, and their slingers and archers going before the host, and they that marched in the forward were all mighty men. As for Bacchides, he was in the right wing, so the host drew near on the two parts and sounded their trumpets. They also of Yehuda's side, even they sounded their trumpets also, so that the arret shook at the noise of the armies, and the battle continued from morning till night. Now when Yehudas perceived that Bacchides and the strength of his army were on the right side, he took with him all the hardy men, who discomfited the right wing, and pursued them unto the mount Azotuz. But when they of the left wing saw that they of the right wing were discomfited, they followed upon Yehudis and those that were with him hard at the heels from behind. Whereupon there was a sore battle, insomuch as many were slain on both parts. Yehudis also was killed, and the remnant fled. So this man, I'm not exactly sure how many years he was actually reigning, over our people at this time, but he ends up falling at this point.
Man, I was thinking when they saw all of that, that was the time for them to take a breath, and basically go into a prayer, at least a sacrifice even. I would have been like, man, we need a burnt offering.
Yeah,
We got to put a priest at, and Man, I
You know,
didn't think
you had made a good point in the previous chapter,
mm-hmm.
how we weren't really known for making leagues and making covenants and making
Mm-hmm.
treaties with other people, especially someone we would have seen as being uh heathen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I'm wondering if that plays a part in the Yehudis's
The
uh
man. Yeah.
death, man.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that because I would feel like, oh, you just gonna go around me and try to do something like that? Okay, I got you. You take that protection that you had, it's gone. And so good luck. Good luck in your battle.
Con.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you something. In your version you have,
Mm-hmm.
is the first word or the first two letters capitalized?
Uh-uh. In 19?
Yeah.
No, it's just the end.
Okay. See, the copy I've got, it says then, but the th is capitalized and then the en is lowercase.
Hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
why, but like I said, it's other misprints in here, man. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's
sometimes the sentence structures like sometimes don't make a lot of sense, man. And I'll be thinking that those are misprints as well, man.
yeah. That one you was talking about earlier, I definitely saw it was it read the same. It was
Mm-hmm.
just way off. So
Yeah. All right, verse 19. Then Jonathan and Simon took Yehudis their brother and buried him in the sepulchre of his father in Modin. Moreover, they bewailed him, and all Yasharal made great lamentation for him, and mourned many days, saying, how is the valiant man fallen that delivered Yasharal?
mm,
As for the other things concerning Yehudis and his wars, and the noble acts which he did, and his greatness, they are not written, for they were very many.
mm,
Now, after the death of Yehudis, the wicked began to put forth their heads in all the coasts of Yasharal, and there arose up all such as wrought iniquity. So those Israelites that wanted to make league with
mm-hmm.
these Grecians, man, there's no fear in them now not to do so, man.
Yeah. Yehuda's gone. Man, that's crazy. I can't believe Yehuda's gone.
Mm-hmm. All right. Verse 24. In those days also was there a very great famine, by reason whereof the country revolted, and with them, and went with them. Then Bacchides chose the wicked men and made them masters of the country. And they made inquiry and searched for Yehudis' friends, and brought them to unto Bacchides, who took vengeance of them and used them despitefully. So there was a great affliction in Yasharal, the like whereof was not since the time that a prophet was not seen among them. For all this cause, all Yehudis' friends came together and said unto Jonathan, since your brother Yehudis died, we have no man like him to go forth against our enemies and Bacchides and against them of our nation that are adversaries to us. So our own people are making league with these wicked folks, man.
All right.
It we see similar things happen even in these days.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
the apologists, the
Mm-hmm.
apologist movement. Many of those people are, we would call them, if we would look at them, they look like me and you. They look like
Right.
Israelites, but
Right.
they have a different message, man,
Exactly.
or a lie. I'm not even gonna call it a message, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They do everything they can to push the agenda of the adversary.
Con.
Yeah.
All right, verse 30. Now, therefore, we have chosen you this day to be our prince and captain in his stead, that you may fight our battles. Upon this, Jonathan took the government upon him at that time, and rose up instead of his brother Yehudis. But when Bacchides got knowledge thereof, he sought for to slay him. Then Jonathan and Simon his brother, and all that were with him, perceiving that, fled into the wilderness of Tekoa, and pitched their tents by the water of the pool of Asphar. When Bacchides understood, he came near to Jordan with all his host upon the Sabbath day. Now Jonathan had sent his brother Yehukanan, a captain of the people, to pray his friends, the Nabathites, that they might leave with them their carriage, which was much. But the children of Yambri came out of Madaba and took Yehukanan and all that he had and went their way with it. After this came word to Jonathan and Simon his brother that the children of Yambri made a great marriage and were bringing the bride from Nadabathah with a great train, as being the daughter of one of the great princes of Canaan. Therefore they remembered Yehukanan their brother and went up and hid themselves under the covert of the mountain.
Slack, y'all. Hold up, one quick.
We're in verse 39.
Who is this man, a daughter of a princess of Canaan?
Uh,
Is this a Yahudim?
I don't think so. This is somebody. Yambri made a great marriage. Yeah,
Okay.
Yambri made a great marriage, and we're bringing the bride from, the Nabathah is a place.
Okay. Being a daughter
His
of
daughter,
one
his daughter was one of the princes or princesses' daughters of Canaan.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to say, I know they ain't still doing that. We just
Right.
did that in Ezra.
I wouldn't be surprised, Doc. I really wouldn't be surprised, man. All right.
Continue.
Verse 39. Where they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, there was much ado and great carriage. And the bridegroom came forth, and his friends and his brethren, to meet them with drums and instruments of music and many weapons. Then Jonathan and they that were with him rose up against them from the place where they lay in ambush, and made a slaughter of them in such sort, as many fell down dead, and the remnant fled into the mountain, and they took all their spoils. Thus was the marriage turned into mourning, and the noise of their melody into lamentation. So when they had avenged fully the blood of their brother, they turned again to the marsh of Jordan. Now when Bacchades heard hereof, he came on the Sabbath day unto the banks of Jordan with a great power. Then Jonathan said to his company, let us go up now and fight for our lives, for it standeth not with us today, as in time past. For behold, the battle is before us and behind us, and the water of Jordan on this side and that side, the marsh likewise and wood, neither is there place for us to turn aside. Wherefore cry ye now unto Shemaim, that ye may be delivered from the hand of your enemies. With that they joined battle, and Jonathan stretched forth his hand to smite Bacchides, but he turned back from him. Then Jonathan and they that were with him leapt into Jordan, and swam over unto the other bank. Howbeit the other passed not over Jordan unto them. So there were slain of Bacchides' side that day about 1,000 men. Afterward returned Bacchides to Jerusalem, and repaired the strong cities in Judea, the fort in Jericho, and Emmaus, and Beth Horon, and Bethel, and Thammathah, and Pathrathani, and Taphon. These did he strengthen with high walls, with gates, and with bars. And in them he set a garrison, that they might work malice upon Yasharal. He fortified, looking at those names, I'm not sure where all these names are, but some of them look familiar. Bethel and Beth Horon, Jericho. These are cities that were once inhabited by Yasharal, and I'm wondering if there's a single seed of Yasharal left in them.
Yeah, probably not, because most of us had fled out because of the they was trying to exterminate us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, verse 52. He fortified also the city of Bethshur and Gazarah and the tower, and put forces in them and provisions of victuals. Besides, he took the chief men's sons in the country for hostages, and put them into the tower of Jerusalem to be kept. Moreover, in the 153rd year, in the second month, Alchemists commanded that the wall of the inner court of the sanctuary should be pulled down. He pulled down also the works of the prophets. And as he began to pull down, even at that time was Alchemist plagued, and his enterprise hindered, for his mouth was stopped, and he was taken with palsy, so that he could no more speak anything, nor give order concerning his house. So
Most High then smote him.
indeed, one might wonder, why is the Most High even allowing this man to triumph and do all the things that he's done? But we can only see, our vision is not as broad
Right.
and able to see everything. So we also have to remember that we as a people in this time and day were not unified in wanting to keep the law, statute, and commandments.
Right.
There's always going to be punishment for that, man.
Right. Indeed.
All right. Verse 56. So Alchemist died at that time with great torment. Now, when Bacchides saw that Alchemist was dead, he returned to the king, and whereupon the land of Judea was in rest 2 years. Then all the unrighteous men held a council, saying, Behold, Jonathan and his company are at ease and dwell without care. Now, therefore, we will bring Bacchides hither, who shall take them all in one night. So they went and consulted with him. Then removed he and came with a great host, and sent letters privately to his inheritance in Judea, that they should take Jonathan and those that were with him. Howbeit they could not, because their counsel was known unto them. Wherefore they took of the men of the country that were authors of that mischief about 50 persons, and slew them. Afterward, Jonathan and Simon and they that were with him got them away to Bethbasi, which is in the wilderness, and they repaired the decays thereof and made it strong. Which thing, when Bacchides knew, he gathered together all his hosts and sent word to them that were of Judea. Then went he and laid siege against Bethbasi, and they fought against it a long season and made engines of war. So this is catapults. What's the things that you build to ladders and uh, battering rams. Con. Verse 65. But Jonathan left his brother Simon in the city, and went forth himself into the country, and with a certain number went he forth, and he smote Adon-Nakez and his brethren, and the children of Pasaron in their tent. And when he began to smite them, and came up with his forces, Simon and his company went out of the city, and burned up their engines of war, and fought against Bacchides, who was discomfited by them, and they afflicted him sore, for his counsel and travail was in vain. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Wherefore he was very wroth at the wicked men that gave him counsel to come into the country, inasmuch as he slew many of them, and proposed to return into his own country. Whereof, when Jonathan had knowledge, he sent ambassadors unto him, to the end he should make peace with him, and deliver them the prisoners. Which thing he accepted, and did according to his demands, and swore unto him that he would never do him harm all the days of his life. When therefore he had restored unto him the prisoners that he had taken aforetime out of the land of Judea, he returned and went his way into his own land. Neither came he any more into their borders. Thus the sword ceased from Yasharal. Jonathan dwelt at Maccabees, and began to govern the people. And he destroyed the unrighteous men out of Yasharal. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Now we
I
pick up.
think you still
Oh,
should have
Salaki.
flipped him. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying Salaki because I was talking while you was talking. What'd you say?
I was saying I know it said that he went out and never came back, but they still should have clipped him.
Yeah, indeed,
Yeah.
indeed, because can't trust enemies, man.
Not at all.
You know, and but it's good to see that he kind of picked up like where his brother had left off, man. And
Indeed.
uh, you know, we look forward to that day when the Most High deals with the rebels of our people, man. And I'm not saying that he's gonna kill them. You know, maybe it'll be when they see, well, perhaps, and maybe when they see somebody being dealt with for rebellion, maybe our people will all straighten up, man.
Right. Indeed. Because we got some people that's deep on the other side, and who knows what they'll, with the promise of a little bit of money or, a little bit of some kind of promotion or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
our people will do anything.
Okay. All right, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 10, verse 1. In the 160th year, Alexander, the son of Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, went up and took Ptolemais, for the people had received him by means whereof he reigned there. Verse 2. Now when King Demetrius heard thereof, he gathered together an exceeding great host and went forth against him to fight. So these, you know, we see these names and
Mm-hmm.
we're wondering who these people are, but these are all sons of Yafet. These are
Mm-hmm.
all Gentiles that
Right.
are in the land, and much like how we see Gentiles in the land now fighting
Right
in that
now.
land.
Indeed.
It's the same thing, man. You
Indeed.
know. All right. Verse 3. Moreover, Demetrius sent letters unto Jonathan with loving words, so as he magnified him. For said he, let us first make peace with him before he join with Alexander against us. You know, yeah, man, they're not coming with you because they're sorry for anything that they've done.
Mm-mm.
They still fear you and
Right.
still fear losing control and power.
Right.
Verse 5. Else he will remember all the evils. Else he will remember all the evils that we have done against him
Right.
and against his brother and his people.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore he gave him authority to gather together a host and to provide weapons that he might aid him in battle. He commanded also that the hostages that were in the tower should be delivered him. So yeah, man, these are wicked people, man.
Right.
You got the Yahudim in a tower, just in a prison, pretty much, man.
Right. Yeah.
Verse 7. Then came Jonathan to Jerusalem and read the letters in the audience of all the people and of them that were in the tower, who were sore afraid when they heard that the king had given him authority to gather together a host. Whereupon they of the tower delivered their hostages unto Jonathan, and he delivered them unto their parents. This done, Jonathan settled himself in Jerusalem and began to build and repair the city. And he commanded the workmen to build the walls and the Mount Sion and about with square stones for fortification, and they did so. Then the strangers that were in the fortress, which Bacchides had built, fled away, insomuch as every man left his place and went into his own country. Only at Bethsura, certain of those that had forsaken the Torah and the commandments remained still, for it was their place of refuge.
Mm.
Now, when King Alexander had heard what promises Demetrius had sent unto Jonathan, when also it was told him of the battles and noble acts which he and his brethren had done, and of the pains that they had endured, he said, shall we find such another man? Now, therefore, we will make him our friend and confederate. Upon this, he wrote a letter and sent it unto him according to these words, saying, King Alexander to his brother Jonathan sendeth greeting. What's that script? Flattering words.
Right.
It's deceitful.
Yeah. Flattering
Yeah.
words and a gift. What is it? A gift spoils the. Good grief! What did it say? A gift spoils the
The
heart.
heart.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Verse 19. We have heard of you that you are a man of great power and meet to be our friend. Wherefore now this day we ordain you to be the high priest of your nation and to be called the king's friend. And therewithal he sent him a purple robe and a crown of gold, and required you to take our part and keep friendship with us. So in the 7th month of the 160th year, at the feast of the tabernacles, Jonathan put on the set apart robe and gathered together forces and provided much armor. I'm wondering, man, are we getting ready to see the fall of Jonathan with these
Yeah, that's a
Aguilar?
good question. But I want. It sounded like this is a plan.
Yeah, it's very possible. And here's
Mm-hmm.
the thing: Jonathan and his brethren were of the line of Phineas, so
Mm-hmm.
for them to be made high priests wouldn't have been off.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Verse 22. Whereof, when Demetrius heard, he was very sorry and said, What have we done that Alexander hath prevented us in making amenity with the Yahudim to strengthen himself? I also will write unto them words of encouragement and promise them dignities and gifts that I may have their aid. He sent unto them, therefore, to this effect. King Demetrius unto the people of the Yahudim sendeth greeting, whereas ye have kept covenants with us and continued in our friendship, not joining yourselves with our enemies. We have heard hereof and are glad. Wherefore now continue you still to be faithful unto us, and we will well recompense you for the things you do on our behalf, and will grant you many immunities and give you rewards. And now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Yahudims from tributes and from the custom of salt and from the crown taxes and from that which appertaineth unto me to receive for the third part or the seed and the half of the fruit of the trees. I release it from this day forth, so that they shall not be taken of the land of Judea, nor of the 3 governments which are added thereunto out of the country of Samaria and Galilee, from this day forth forevermore. Let Jerusalem also be set apart and free, with the borders thereof, both from the tenths and tributes. And as for the tower which is at Jerusalem, I yield up authority over it, and give the high priest that he may set in it such men as he shall choose to keep it. Moreover, I freely set at liberty every one of the Yahudim that were carried captives out of the land of Judea into any part of my kingdom, and I will that all my officers remit the tributes even of their cattle. Furthermore, I will that all the feasts and Sabbaths and new moons and solemn days and 3 days before the feast and the 3 days after the feast shall be all immunity and freedom for all the Yahudim in my realm. Also, no man shall have authority to meddle with or to molest any of them in any matter. I will further that there be enrolled among the king's forces about 30,000 men of the Yahudim, unto whom pay shall be given as belongeth to all the king's forces. So yeah, it's like join us, man. We're gonna pay you to join us, man.
Right.
Verse 37. And of them some shall be placed in the king's strongholds, of whom also some shall set shall be set over the affairs of the kingdom, which are of trust. And I will that over their overseers and governors be of themselves, and that they live after their own laws, even as the king hath commanded in the land of Judea. And concerning the three governments that are added to Judea from the country of Samaria, let them be joined with Judea, that they may be reckoned to be under one, nor bound to obey other authority than the high priest. As for Ptolemy and the land pertaining thereto, I give it as a gift, as a free gift to the sanctuary at Jerusalem for the necessary expenses of the sanctuary. Moreover, I give every year 15,000 shekels of silver out of the king's accounts from the places appertaining, and 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 all the overplus which the officers paid not, and as in former time, from henceforth shall be given toward the works of the temple. And besides this, the 5,000 shekels of silver, which they took from the use of the temple out of the accounts year by year, even those things shall be released, because they appertain to the priest that minister. So, we should never cut a deal with the enemy.
Right.
No buts about it. This guy is making a better deal than the former guy, though.
Yeah. Yeah. He seems to be almost like the king of Persia,
Mm-hmm.
where he was given all of that. So, but here's the thing: the difference in those two is that Abel had already told them that this was about to come down.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not dealing with it properly as they need to.
Con. Verse 43. And whoever they be that flee unto the temple at Jerusalem, or be within the liberties hereof, being indebted unto the king, or for any other matter, let them be at liberty, and all that they have in my realm, for the building also and repairing of the works of the sanctuary expense shall be given of the king's accounts. Yea, and for the building of the walls of Jerusalem, and the fortifying thereof round about, expenses shall be given out of the king's accounts, as also for the building of the walls in Judea. There's no way that this man means good on these promises, man.
Hmm.
Why would he? He seeks to rule the land. Like, why would he fortify and give these people means to fortify and make themselves strong, man? I don't
Unless,
believe it.
unless he that afraid of him, he'd have to be that afraid of him in order to do so.
Con. Verse 46. Now, when Jonathan and the people heard these words, they gave no credit unto them, nor received them, because they remembered the great evil that he had done in Yasharal. For
Praises to the
exactly.
Abba.
uh, For he
Learn the
had,
lesson finally.
indeed, indeed, for he had afflicted them very sore. But with Alexander they were well pleased, because he was the first that entreated of true peace with them, and they were confederate with him always. Then gathered King Alexander great forces and camped over against Demetrius. And after the two kings had joined battle, Demetrius's host fled, but Alexander followed after him and prevailed against them. And he continued the battle very sore until the sun went down. And that day was Demetrius slain.
Hmm.
Afterward, Alexander sent ambassadors to Ptolemy, king of Mizraim, with a message to this effect: For as much as I am come again to my realm, and am set in the throne of my progenitors, and have gotten the dominion, and overthrown Demetrius, and recovered our country, for I for after I had joined battle with him, both he and his hosts were discomfited by us, so that we sit in the throne of his kingdom. Now, therefore, let us make a league of amenity together, and give me now your daughter to wife, and I will be your son-in-law, and will give both you and her as according to your dignity. Then Ptolemy the king gave answer and said, Happy be the day wherein thou did return into the land of your fathers. It's not the land of his fathers, man. And sattest in the throne of their kingdom. And now will I do to you as you have written. Meet me therefore at Ptolemais, that we may see one another. For I will marry my daughter to you according to your desire. So Ptolemy went out of Mizraim with his daughter Cleopatra, and they came unto Ptolemais in the 162nd year, where King Alexander meeting him, he gave unto him his daughter Cleopatra, and celebrated her marriage at Ptolemais with great glory, as the manner of kings is. Now King Alexander had written unto Jonathan that he should come and meet him, who thereupon went honorably to Ptolemais, where he met the two kings, and gave them and their friends silver and gold and many presents, and found favor in their sight. At that time, certain pestilent fellows of Yasharal, men of a wicked life, assembled themselves against him to accuse him, but the king would not hear them. Yea, more than that, the king commanded to take off his garments and clothe him in purple, and they did so. And he made him sit by himself, and said unto his princes, Go with him into the midst of the city, and make proclamation that no man complain against him of any matter, and that no man trouble him for any matter or of cause. Now when his accusers saw that he was honored according to the proclamation, and clothed in purple, they fled all away. So the king honored him, and wrote him among his chief friends, and made him a duke and partaker of his dominion.
Mm.
Afterward, Jonathan returned to Jerusalem with peace and gladness. Furthermore, in the 165th year came Demetrius, son of Demetrius, out of Crete into the land of his fathers. Whereof, when King Alexander heard tell, he was right sorry, and returned into Antioch. Then Demetrius made this governor of Cilicia his general, who gathered together a great host, and camped in Yamina, and sent unto Jonathan the high priest, saying, You alone lifteth up yourself against us, and I am laughed to scorn for your sake, and reproached. And why do you vaunt your power against us in the mountains? Now, therefore, if you trusted in your own strength, come down to us into the plain field, and there let us try the matter together. For with me is the power of the cities. Ask and learn who I am, and the rest that take our part, and they shall tell you that your foot is not able to flight in their own land. Wherefore now you shall be able to abide the horsemen, and so great a power in the plain, where is neither stone nor flint, nor place to flee into. So when Jonathan heard these words of this person, he was moved in his mind, and choosing 10,000 men, he went out of Jerusalem, where Simon his brother met him for to help him. And he pitched his tents against Joppa, but they of Joppa shut him out of the city,
Mm.
because this person had a garrison there.
Mm.
Then Jonathan laid siege unto it, whereupon they of the city let him in for fear. And so Jonathan won Joppa, whereof when this evil person heard, he took 3,000 horsemen with a great host of footmen, and went to Azotus as one that journeyed, and therewithal drew him forth into the plain, because he had a great number of horsemen in whom he put his trust. Then Jonathan followed after him to Azotus, where the armies joined battle. Now this evil person had left 1,000 horsemen in ambush, and Jonathan knew that there was an ambush behind him, for they had compassed in his host, and cast darts at the people from morning till evening. But the people stood still, as Jonathan had commanded them, and so the enemy's horses were tired. then brought Simon forth his host, and set them against the footmen, for the horsemen were spent, who were discomfited by him and fled. The horsemen also, being scattered in the field, fled to Azotus, and went to the house of evil, their idol's temple, for safety. But Jonathan set fire on Astos and the cities round about it, and took their spoils and the temple of this evil deity. With them that were fled into it, he burned with fire. Thus there were burned and slain with the sword well nigh 8,000 men. And from thence Jonathan removed his host and camped against Ascalon, where the men of the city came forth and met him with a great pomp. After this returned Jonathan and his hosts unto Jerusalem, having any spoils. I think that should be many spoils, not any.
Yeah, many indeed. So that about the M.
Khan. Verse 88. Now when King Alexander heard these things, he honored Jonathan yet more, and he sent him a buckle of gold, as the use is to be given to such as are of the king's blood. He gave him also Acharon with the borders thereof in possession. All praises.
Hallelujah. Wow, this was a lengthy chapter.
Indeed,
Yeah. But lots of a lot of good information. I'm kind of sad by the death of Yehudis. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one coming. This was my first time reading all the way through this one here. But yeah, a lot of good stuff though. A lot of good stuff. Love to see Israel continuing, Yashar continuing, and one thing I did notice though, in those last about 3 chapters, there's no mention of the Most High. Yeah,
nobody was seeking him for counsel.
Yeah, no, and that's always a mistake. So things written aforetime are written for our learning, and definitely a problem anytime that somebody is not, our people are not seeking the power of Israel. Who else is going to be our power? That is our power, and that's what we need to be putting our trust in. He is. I shouldn't say that is, but he is our power, and so we should always seek him first. I said before, when we were right at that point, right before Yehudis was stopped, was killed, that they probably should have done a sacrifice unto the Most High, to show them that they were with him and that we depend on him, and we need to always keep that first of mind. As we've learned, reading these texts during the time of when the 11 tribes warred against Benjamin. They went out twice against Benjamin and losing both times, on both occasions, came back and made sacrifices to the Most High and almost put Benjamin to extinction. They had to stop because they were about to put him to extinction. And that's not a good thing, don't get me wrong. But it's just a matter of the fact that the Most High was with the 11 tribes. And we see the result. The result was they were victorious and able to conquer. To conquer. So keeping that in mind going forward, as we read these lessons, we are to learn something from them, and not just we're not just reading because it's fun to read or reading is fundamental. We're reading because this is our history. One, we need to understand, and two, we get instructions on how to be better as Israelites and dealing with the Most High properly. So that's all I got for final thoughts. Go ahead, Art.
Kanak, some real good history. If you're unaware of the Apocrypha, you need to be aware that you're missing a great deal of information. This book right here covers a lot of it. like you said, uh, at any point in history, at all points in history, we always should be looking for guidance from the Most High
Hmm.
before we make any decisions.
Hmm.
Uh, it doesn't always occur, and oftentimes, nothing good happens, off a decision made where you're not seeking counsel from the Most High. Uh,
Indeed.
it looks like things have worked out so far for Jonathan, but we still got a great deal of reading to continue in. Yeah, so looking forward to the next opportunity we have getting into it.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Also, once again, want to reiterate the feast or the recognition, the keeping of the destruction of, what was the name?
Nicanor.
Nicanor. Yeah, the what was it called? The that we keep every year because of this wicked devil was so proud when he fell. 13th day of the month of Adar. Uh, yeah, so we remember that on an annual base. So that is actually coming up soon, and most I willing, we'll be able to reiterate that at that time.
Mhm.
But man, it was good to see that and to read this. Praises to the Abba for another Sabbath yom. We are past the Sabbath now, and we are going into we're in the even into the evening. We're not going into, we're into the evening. So we're going to close out here. 2 hours and 16 minutes. Who'd have thought we'd have gone 5 chapters would take that long? These are some long chapters, though. It was one chapter that was only like 30 or 20 something or 30 something, and it was one I had, but I think the last one I had. But these other chapters were, make you work for it. So anyhow, we're going to close out here with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is so very important that we understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments. Why? Because this is the whole duty of man. At the end of the day, when it is all said and done, when all the dust is settled and all the smoke is cleared, we will be judged at the end of it all on whether we feared the Most High and kept his commandments. Why? Because this is the entire reason that we were made. I am your Akazaki Yahoo, joined by my most esteemed Kenaniah, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the 4 quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to the day that the Most High fulfills his promise and brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High power, under one covenant. Until that day, shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom, Mr. Pakai.